When I heard about my great-grandfather B. Govindasamy Chettiar's legacy and my grandfather S.L. Perumal's legacy, I was very proud because I knew that, in Singapore, a lot of Chinese, Malays, Indians, they came together to find a living. But beyond than just doing good for themselves, they also contributed a lot to the Tamil community, whether it was through social services or whether it was through their contributions to the temple, especially Sri Vadabhadra Kaliamman temple. And I think that gave me a lot more of a motivation that even if one day I were to find a name for myself or I were to do well, I should also contribute to my community. My great-grandfather B. Govindasamy Chettiar came to Singapore at the turn of the century. He first came to Singapore as a clerk at the harbourfront, and then through his hard work, slowly he progressed and he became a contractor. He had his own company and had around 3,500 Tamils working under him. Apart from being a benevolent employer, he also helped people whoever asked him for help. And he set up a tent, something of today's soup kitchen equivalent, and he fed a lot of people, whoever came there in the Tanjung Pagar area. And that's why he got the name Kottai Govindasamy, because he used to feed people in a tent. So since I was growing up, I was always hearing these stories being spoken at the dinner table about my grandfather and my great-grandfather. And I would always kind of be skeptical or sort of like zone off or dream. But afterwards, when I kind of stumbled across all these black and white photos about the harbourfront and my grandfather with some of the Indian politicians from India or other people of the Indian community, then I started believing it. And I was also really proud because, when I think about myself being a Singaporean, I don't just think about my own lived experiences. I think about how back my family has gone, about the fact that we have been here for about 4 to 5 generations. And that kind of really sort of makes me more fond about Singapore. So I enjoy writing poetry in both English and in Tamil. And I think being a Singaporean Tamil puts us in that kind of a unique position because one thing, we live in a multicultural society. Our first language was almost English. We first learn how to speak and write in English, and then we learn our mother tongues. And Tamil is one of our official languages in Singapore. So definitely it kind of puts us in a very unique position. And I enjoy writing in Tamil. I started writing in Tamil first because I think Tamil is a very poetic language. And then once I started having that interest, whenever it came any of my interests in arts, whether it was theatre or public speaking, I started in Tamil and then I went to English. ஸ்வரங்களுக்கு நடுவே ஒலிக்கும் அர்த்தங்களுக்கு ஈடு ஏதும் இல்லை. வார்த்தைகள் கைகட்டி நிற்கின்றன. இசைவாசலில் சிஷ்யனாய் ஏற்றுக்கொள்ள கோரிக்கை விடுகின்றன. இனி நானும் மௌனம் காப்பேன். என் மௌனம் உன் பாடலுக்கு பதில் சொல்லும்.